The first presidential debate is in just 2 weeks, so I'm going to start stocking up on popcorn. And because the election is just now 7 weeks away, Joe Biden has finally left his basement and is starting to do interviews. Like this one with CNN's Jake Tapeworm, where Joe Biden tried to reassure the viewers that he's not too old or too slow for the job.
And when it comes to Donald Trump versus me, just look at us, okay? Just look at us. This idea of, slow Joe. I shouldn't laugh about it because, anyway, Donald Trump, just look at us both, watch us, and determine whether or not you think.
We've been watching, and we're pretty worried about you, Joe.
The rapidly rising
Joe really loves his notes, and unlike every other presidential candidate in modern history, he uses them during live interviews. Here he is using them repeatedly during an interview with Anderson Cooper, where they are obviously taped on the side of his monitor or propped up on his desk using a document stand.
The vice president echoed the president last night by telling Americans that they would not be safe in Joe Biden's America.
Well, look, if you think about it, Donald Trump saying you're not going to be safe in Joe Biden's America, all the video being played is being played in Donald Trump's America. To prove that you should be scared of Joe Biden, they're pointing to what's happening in Donald Trump's America. We're in a position where you have 50 million people needing Social Security. Needing unemployment insurance.
This is truly bizarre, and it didn't go unnoticed.
How about the questions asked by Anderson Cooper yesterday? Anderson Cooper, he's interviewed me a lot over the years, and I always got along with him, but they were tough interviews. Did you hear the questions? And Biden kept looking down. I think he was reading the answers off a teleprompter, right? I think he was reading the answers off a teleprompter. And that's happened before.
President Trump is right, and Joe Biden isn't just reading notes that are printed and posted off camera. His staff appears to actually be inputting talking points into a teleprompter during his interviews.
And I would like to know, what will your administration do to help them give him that chance? Thank you.
Move it up here. There used to be a basic bargain in this country. Workers shared in the wealth their work helped create.
Move it up here, he says, referring to the text on the teleprompter that scrolled past the screen because the operator started it too soon, and he's obviously reading from it. With this AFL-CIO union virtual event, all of those questions were pre-recorded for him, and obviously they gave him the questions in advance, and his staff typed up the answers and put them into the teleprompter.
Look, one of the things that that I think is really important is that we somehow put that back on. There's somehow that we're in a situation where we
put that back on, he says, talking to his staff, telling them to put the talking points back into the teleprompter. And looky here, when old Joe was showing off some family photos to James Corden on The Late Late Show, you could see in the reflection on the glass, his teleprompter was turned on and filled with talking points for him. Of course, old Joe has a teleprompter in his basement for his occasional prepared remarks, but it certainly shouldn't be turned on during a live interview, nor filled with text, unless, well, come on, man, he's using it. Joe Biden's campaign press secretary was asked about this by Fox News' Bret Baier, and I think the answer to the question is pretty clear.
Has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer Q&A with supporters?
Bret, we are not going to engage. This is straight from the Trump campaign.
Well, yeah, they're using it.
And what it does, Bret, is it's trying to distract the American people.
They're using it. They talk about it every day. Can you say yes or no?
That's because they talk about it every day, Bret, because they don't have a coherent
Well, you have
strategy.
an answer. Yes or no?
Bret, they talk about it every day because they don't have a coherent argument for why Donald Trump deserves re-election. election, deserves 4 more years. We know that he lied to the American people. We know that he has not shown leadership during this crisis, and they are desperate to throw anything they can against the wall to try to distract from that fact.
I understand, but you can't answer the question.
Brett, I am not going to allow the Trump campaign to funnel their questions through Fox News and get me to respond to that.
Well, TJ, we appreciate your time, and thank you for coming on.
This guy's obviously a very inexperienced Democrat because instead of just outright lying, he continuously tries to pivot and avoid the question. But you can't pull one over on Bret Baier that easy. Look at how happy he is. He thinks that he actually beat Bret Baier when everybody who sees this knows the obvious answer. Here he is on MSNBC talking with Al Sharpton, where he appears to be reading his prepared remarks.
Of the resources where they're really needed.
That's exactly right. And look what's happened here. What's happened here is that the economic recovery has to be just and equitable. And we know the black communities are likely to bear a heavy economic burden of the crisis. Black workers disproportionately work in low-wage jobs, face-to-face services, hospitality, leisure industry, which are taking an especially big hit. We need federal leadership to make sure that this recovery benefits everybody, especially those who've been left behind in the past. Any jurisdiction that receives stimulus funding should be required to track and release the data on potential racial disparities. And the Treasury and the Small Business Administration should track lending to make sure minority business owners who are faced with too many barriers to credit to begin with in capital for far too long get treated justly.
Okay, you can't tell me that he's just talking off the top of his head. He is reading that. And I'd be willing to bet that MSNBC gave him the questions in advance, just like CNN gave Hillary the debate questions. In this clip, you can even hear his notes crinkling.
And in order to avoid those very high numbers, we have to do at least several things. One, we have to depend on what the president's going to do right now. And first of all, he has to wait till the cases before anything happens. Look, the whole idea is he's got to get in place things that were shortages of. It gets down to testing. It's about testing, tracing, and treatment. And, a lot of live stream things that I'm getting used to. But it amazes me that everybody is, tuning in to.
This is why there are growing calls from the New York Times and other elitists saying that the presidential debates should be canceled.
I myself, just don't tell anybody I told you this, especially don't tell Joe Biden. I don't think that there should be any debates. I do not think that the President of the United States has comported himself in a way that anybody should, and that has any association with truth, evidence, data, and facts. I wouldn't legitimize a conversation with him, nor a debate in terms of the presidency of the United States.
Gee, Nancy, what could go wrong?
If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight.
This was in August of 2019, almost a full year ago. And since Joe Biden is aging in dog years, that means it was 7 years ago. If Joe actually shows up to the debates, we should take bets on how many times he's going to lean on his favorite catchphrase, "Come on, man."
Come on, man. 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 Come on. Come on, man. 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 Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man.
Well, Joe, I think you just gave us one more reason. And it is in Joe's honor that I've released my new Come On Man Trump 2020 shirt. And I just released this new The Truth Is Being Censored shirt that I'm sure many of you will understand. But if those aren't your style, there are more than a dozen designs, all available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.